Hi crocheters of the world, this is the object that we will create together in this tutorial. I love this, what can I say, shawl or a scarf, because it's a four-season object that I'm sure will become, as it is mine, one of your favorite. You can put it in your bag. It's about 170 grams. It's 2 meters in length, and in width, here in the middle, it is about 80 centimeters, so it's nice and large. And in summer time you can use it as a nice shawl, really lovely in the chilly evenings, or you can use it as a beautiful, lovely scarf. Here it is. Look at it. Isn't it just gorgeous? Now, I already work so many of these, because it is a old pattern of mine, but I just wanted to revisit it because I just love it, and to make a nice tutorial. So for this we have on our shop kits with colors, and you can find them. I will put the link below, and this is one of the largest that I worked. Only that now I put this lovely border. Now, as for the main stitch, is the flower stitch. I really ask you, it is very important to understand the stitch. So I have a tutorial, I put the link below, and at the end of this tutorial of the stitch, so where I actually explain the stitch, you can go ahead and work a small piece just to understand it, just to learn it, okay? And then you are just ready to work with me this lovely scarf. So let's get started. First of all, I just want to show you the yarns that I use. You will find the links below. It's for the main, let's say, part of the scarf shawl. I use this beautiful, about two skeins, but actually one and very small quantity of the second. These are some of the colors that I suggest, just give you some ideas. This is mine. It's 48% wool, really nice ribbon, made in Italy, 100% Italian yarn. We have so beautiful Italian yarns, and we ship to all Europe. And the other one for the border is a 100% cotton yarn, flambe. So it has different measures, let's say different sizes. It's 100% cotton. I work it with 5.5 millimeters hook. So let's get started. So let us begin with the slip knot. Don't forget to watch first the video of the tutorial of the stitch. Okay, if you don't know the flower stitch, you have the link below. I am working with, as I said, 5.5 millimeters hook, and I will begin with the ribbon yarn. So this is the main part of the shawl. It's really easy. Hope I succeed to make the slip knot, then it is really easy. Work 2 chains into the first that you made, work a single crochet, and then as for the Solomon's knot, pull up a long loop about 1.5 centimeters, close it with a single crochet and a chain just to block. Okay, now another one, and from now on this is the the vertical stitch that we will begin with each row. So I will pull up a loop, then another loop into the single crochet where I worked the main stitch, as I said, the vertical one, and then I will skip the first one and I pull up a loop, another loop, pull through all and single crochet on the top plus a chain to secure. Now turn your work. This is the very first flower stitch. Turn your work, again a Solomon knot, singular Solomon knot, let's say, with a single crochet and a chain, then pull up a loop, work another loop into the single crochet where you work the Solomon knot, the beginning stitch, let's say, and skip the horizontal stitch loop and work another long loop, then pull through all, insert hook again and single crochet on the top and chain to secure. Now these are the two stitches, the two rows with just one flower each of them. We will finish with these two rows with just one flower. Okay, so this is one stitch, one flower stitch. Now we will go ahead and work our increasing row. So work the vertical Solomon knot, which is the beginning, that pull up a loop, insert hook where you into the single crochet where you work the vertical one, and work one more, yarn over, work the last one, skipping the horizontal loop, pull through all. So actually into a normal flower stitch you will have 5 loops on the hook before closing. And now we will increase 1, yarn over, 2 loops, only 2 loops to increase. Okay, only 2 loops we will work, single crochet and chain to block. And now we have, as you can see, 2 horizontal loops. So we have 2 stitches, 2 flower stitches. Put a marker around the increase, so you will know that when you go back you don't increase, only into each second row from now on. So now we will work a row with 2 flower stitches. I work the vertical loop, the beginning stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop into the single crochet where you work the first, yarn over, skip one horizontal loop and pull up a loop. This is your first flower stitch. Pull through all, single crochet and chain to secure. Then pull up a loop again, yarn over, where you work the last loop, the third loop, the fifth actually, work the second and the third into the single crochet, skipping a horizontal loop. Okay, so this is the idea. We always skip the horizontal loop where we when we work a complete flower stitch. Now this is we work one row with 2 flowers stitches. Now we begin the third. In each odd number row we will increase at the end. So this is the first stitch, then we work the first flower stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, and the third loop, skipping one horizontal loop, pull through 2, single crochet to close and chain to secure, pull up another loop, insert hook into the single crochet and pull a loop, pull up a loop, then skip the second vertical loop, into the single crochet we go and we pull up our third loop to complete the flower stitch, the second flower stitch. And now at the end of this third row, so the third row where we begin to increase, actually I don't count the first 2 rows, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull up a loop into the same single crochet, last single crochet of the row, and pull through all, single crochet, chain to secure. And this is your increase. And as you can see, we have 3 horizontal loops, which means we have already 3 flower stitches. We will work into the next row and place the marker into this one, because if you always place the marker into the last increase, it's impossible to go wrong. So let us begin a new row. Will be the row with 3. So when we go up, we won't increase. When we come down, let's say, we increase in each odd number. But if you keep on putting the marker around your last increase, it's impossible to go wrong. So I work my first flower stitch. I already worked my first loop, vertical loop for the beginning of the row. The solitary, I name it solitary loop. And now the second, okay, skip one horizontal into the next single crochet, work your last loop, pull through all and chain to secure. Now another loop, yarn over into the single crochet, you go and you work the second loop, yarn over, skip one horizontal bar into the last single crochet, you go and you close all that you have with a single crochet and chain to secure. Now this is with 3. I will come back and I will increase, so I will have 4 and so on. This is how you will increase. I increase for 32 rows, and now I'm 30 plus the first 2 rows, the one with the 2 with 1 flower stitch. Okay, now I am working my row with my fifth row, actually, from the yarn, from the one that I began to increase. I am counting, so pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop into the first single crochet, yarn over, pull up a loop, skipping one horizontal loop into the single crochet, pull through all, insert hook again, pull up a loop to create a 2 loops on the hook, single crochet and chain to secure, and go ahead and work like this. This is the last, the third actually, and now because we are on the side with the increases, we increase. Okay, so this is the increase, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull up a loop into the same single crochet where you finish your last flower stitch. And with these 2 loops we just increase. Again, we have 4 horizontal loops, as you can see, and take the marker off and put it again around this one, this increase, so you will be able to keep the trace of your increases and of your side where you have to increase. So you just need to know that on this side, when you finish the row on this side, you need to increase on the side with the marker. Okay, so always take off the marker and put it into the next increase. This is how we will continue on to increase. I will work, as I said, 32 rows, and then I will be back to show you how to decrease, because this is all. It's a triangle, that's all that we need to do. We will have a side, or the first part with the increases and the second part with the decreases. Exactly the same number of rows, obvious. So the vertical loop, and then I will begin with my flower stitches. Now I have 4. I will go ahead and work this, and when I come back I will work 5. At the end I will put an increase, and so on. So let's see, I have to finish my row. I just increased, and now I have to work the row, the even number row, 1 and 2. This is the second, pull through and single crochet to join together and chain to block. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up another loop into the very next single crochet, skip one horizontal loop and pull up the third loop into the next single crochet, pull through single crochet on the block with a single crochet on the top, and with a chain. This is the last flower that I am working on. And this is actually the last row with the increases. Now I will work on a very small swatch, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, very small swatch because I just want you to see perfectly all the steps of this shawl. So you can work as many rows as you wish. You have to finish exactly with a normal row, not increase row, but not normal row, because like this you will have a even number row. So you have to finish with even number row. I actually worked into mine 32 rows, counting the two rows, the beginning two rows. Now I will begin with the second part with the increases, and with the increases I will begin from the top. I will say, because this is the top of the shawl, so I will just go ahead and work my flower stitch 4, and actually there will be 3, because over the last 2 I will work 2 together actually. Okay, so this is the last one, and I will work this one. So I finished the first part with the last number of horizontal loops, okay, which in my case in this small swatch is 4, and I will begin the other one with 4, okay, with the same number. Please keep it in mind that you will finish your increases part with a row without increase, okay, and I completed 32, and you will begin your next part with the decrease with the same row, with the same number of horizontal. So you will just come back on the side with the increases, and you won't increase, you won't decrease. Okay, so this will be the very first row of the decreases part. So there are 2 rows with the same number of horizontal loops in the middle, and in between them put a marker. This will mark actually the finish of the first part and the beginning of the second. And now we will begin with a decrease. So this is 1, 2, 3, skip 1, and now we will skip one more, yarn over, skip one more. So we will work over 2 horizontal loops, and we will have 7 loops on the hook. There will be 4 when you join them both together with a single crochet and chain to secure. So you can see there are 4 loops, and put the marker on. So on the part with the decreases, we will decrease at the beginning of the row, not at the end, as we did on the part with the increases, and obvious on the same side. Okay, so we will have a side that it's long, the upper side, and the side with the 2 sides of the triangle actually, and with the corner with the angle. Okay, this is the last stitch. Now I will have 3 because I finished with 4 my increases part. Okay, in the middle I have one with 4, the other with 4 of the decreases side, and then I begin with a decrease. Now I will work with 3, and then I will begin the next row with a decrease, and then I will have 2, and so on. So keep in mind that you will begin now. So on the decreases side you will begin with a decrease, okay, and you will work the decreases in a even number row. So the first row it was a row, normally row without increases or decreases. The next row, which is the second row, was a row of with decrease. Okay, so in each even number, so you increase in each odd number at the end of each odd number, and you decrease at the beginning of each. Okay, perfect. So now I will decrease again. So by decreasing, you just work over 2 horizontal loops. So one, pull up a loop, insert hook in where you work the vertical beginning loop, work one. This is the third, yarn over, and another one. So you skip 2 horizontal loops. You will have 7 loops on the hook instead of 5 for a normal flower stitch and 3 for a increase. So 7 loops on the hook, and there will be 4 actually when you just join them together. 4 petals, let's say. And now I will work my last stitch. Okay, and now I have 2, only 2. So I just wanted to show you very clearly, I hope, the mechanism. So actually the part of the increases and the part of the decreases, because as many rows as you will work, it's you to decide. You will work exactly the same number of rows on the that you worked on the increase part. As I said before, for me was 32. So you will finish with 2 rows with 1 flower stitch as you began. Okay, and this is the first part, the most important part. So let's say the part, the main part of the shawl. Okay, so I have 2, and now I will begin my row with a decrease, and I will have just 1. It's very important for you to keep in mind that you finish the increasing part with a even number row. So you increase and then you work 1 more row with all the stitches that you have, and then you come back for the decreasing part with the same number of stitches. You put the marker in between these 2 stitches, these 2 rows. Now I have 1, so I decreased, and then you begin with the decreases part. Okay, and now I will work 2 more exactly as I began, 2 more with 1 flower stitch to have exactly the same number of rows. Very important to finish with the same number of rows that you began with. That you work on the increasing, sorry, that you worked for the increasing part. So I have 32 for the increasing part and 32 for the decreasing part, for a total of 2 meters and 10, as I said at the beginning of the tutorial. Okay, and I have to work 1 more, and I finished my main part of the shawl. Okay, this is the last one. I'll cut the yarn, and I will take the other yarn to show you how to work the border. Beautiful border. I have a shawl with that stitch, Solomon knot and puff. That's it. So this is the swatch that you can work it as long and large as you wish. The important thing is you to understand the idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 rows on one side, 8 rows on the other side. I will take off the markers, just leave the marker that divides the decreases to the increases part. Now let's go and work our second part, the border, with the, so we won't begin join the yarn on the side with the increases or decreases, so on that side, but we will join the yarn on the upper side, so on the other side, the long side. Okay, so very important this. Now you will see, I will explain you step by step, but it's on the long side that we'll begin. Okay, into the single crochet we go, we join the yarn, work a chain and single crochet to block, and I will work 2 small Solomon's knot, not very large. Please work them nice and small. Short. 3 single crochet and chain to secure, and then I will come back and I will insert hook into the single crochet on the other side, into the single crochet on the side that we will work the border. Okay, so this is very important. I worked them a little bit too large, so that's why I am saying you work them short, very short on this. So you will begin and you will end each row, each border row, with 3 Solomon's knot. From the second row we will work puff stitches too. I will work 1 Solomon knot. I will begin with 1 Solomon knot, 1 puff stitch. Now work them nice and large, as more or less the length of the loops that you have on the on the side of the main shawl, and you will skip 2 loops of these, 1 and 2, and into the single crochet, slip stitch to join. So I will work like this: 1 Solomon knot, 1 puff stitch, skip 2 loops until I reach the marker in the middle, actually on the top of the shawl. Okay, so Solomon knot and puff stitch. Okay, so that's why you need a even number rows, because we must have pairs. We skip pairs of horizontal loops. Okay, so work 1 Solomon knot, 1 puff stitch, and they must have the length of 2 loops, even a little bit more, a little bit, so the length of 2 loops of the border. Okay, skip 2 loops, slip stitch or single crochet, and here we are. Now I will work the last 2, so 1 Solomon knot and 1 puff stitch. And now I will show you how to work into the corner, the middle, the central line, how to work the central line. Okay, now I will slip stitch exactly into the central line, into the single crochet with the marker. Okay, and now I will work short, short, short. Please work them short. 2 Solomon knots. We will always work Solomon knots here in the central line. This is the central line. 2 Solomon knots, and then I will slip stitch in the same stitch with the marker, always. And then I will place the marker in between them. Okay, so into the same stitch block, and in between them, into the single crochet in between these 2, I will put the marker, and this is our central line. Okay, you will see that you just, I think you just, and go ahead and work on the other side. Now I can't say that you can begin with puff stitch and work puff stitch and Solomon knot, puff stitch and Solomon knot on the other side, so like in the mirror, but actually I continue on with Solomon knot and puff stitch. Believe me, it looks just great even if you work it like this. So it's your choice. You can just switch from the central line on the other side. Okay, but I just work it as it is. So Solomon knot and puff stitch. It looks great. I will leave you the link of the shawl that I work with, the Solomon knot and puff stitch. I have one. Okay. Then just go ahead and work like this. Skip 2 horizontal loops until the end. Okay, so I have one more to complete to the end, and then I will finish with 3 Solomon knots. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. So I have 8 rounds, so I must have 4 pairs, obvious. On my 32, I have 16 pairs, okay, into the first row of the border, because I have 32 rows, so half of the number of the rows on one side. Okay, now I will work 3 Solomon knots, and I will join on the other side, on the long side. Okay, always begin and finish with 3. Now you can begin and finish with 3 Solomon knots if for you it's easier. Okay, from the second row I begin with Solomon knots and puff stitch, just to have something to resembling the border. Okay, from the second row it's really easy. First of all, each row, to begin a new row, you will go up with a Solomon knot, so to be at the level. Okay, so just make the Solomon knot, you double the Solomon knot that you have there, and now you will work 2 Solomon knots plus a puff stitch. Okay, 2 Solomon knots plus a puff stitch. You always will work like this. You can also go ahead and work only Solomon knots, but or you can work Solomon knot, puff stitch, and Solomon knot. Anyway, finish with a puff stitch. Sorry, puff stitch, Solomon knot, puff stitch. Okay, or as I worked. And this is for the beginning. Now you will continue on repeating what you work into the very first row. So you will Solomon knot and puff stitch, skip the 2 Solomon knot and puff stitch that you have there, so 1 and 2 that are into the V, okay, and into the puff stitch you go, and you slip stitch to join, and so on. So we will create some diamond form. Okay, so Solomon knot, puff stitch. Each row we will begin like this, and we will continue on like this actually. Okay, and puff stitch, and then skip Solomon knot and puff stitch that you have on the row below, and look at this. So we will have that nice zigzag line like this, and again Solomon knot and puff stitch, Solomon knot and puff stitch until the go ahead and work until the middle line. So I will show you how to work then. So I just work one more and I meet you in the center. So I will show you how to work Solomon knot, and the puff stitch will be exactly into the center. I will join. Okay, so here I am. I have to work. I already work my Solomon knot. Okay, work the last pair very short, before the center, okay? So shorter than the normal because it looks better. Not important, but okay. Insert hook into the single crochet with the marker, actually in between the two Solomon knots that you work for the central line, and I already finish one side. And now I will work again one Solomon knot, so two Solomon knots, and come back into the same central line and slip stitch to join. One small, short Solomon knots. Okay, 1 and 2, and join exactly into the same line, exactly there. I block with a chain and close and put the marker again in. Now you will continue with Solomon knot and this will be our central line. Now we will continue with actually with Solomon knot and puff stitch. Okay, if you work puff stitch and Solomon knot, then go ahead and work puff stitch and Solomon knot on the other side. Okay, so it's really easy if you work like this, but go ahead and work like this, is easier as I am showing you. Finish this, and then I will show you how to actually finish the row and how to begin the other row, and it's really easy. It's so beautiful. I love it. It's not a big deal, so you already understand you will always work like this. So Solomon knot and puff stitch, Solomon knot and puff stitch for both sides of the triangle, in between two Solomon knots close together in the central line, on the central line, and at the end, if you finish with a puff stitch, you will begin with a Solomon knot, the 3 that you have to work at the end. So Solomon knot, puff stitch, Solomon knot you will. So I finish with a Solomon knot, and now I will work I will skip the first of the 3 to finish the row. I skip, and I have 2 more, and now over the first one, that one horizontal, I finish with Solomon knot, so I will work I finish with puff stitch, I work Solomon knot, I can work a puff stitch, and then again a Solomon knot at the end. And now from now on you will always work like this. You will always finish with a puff stitch, okay, Solomon knot, and go back. So this is the 3 group. I will go up with a Solomon knot exactly as I shown you at the other end, and then Solomon knot, puff stitch, Solomon knot, and then I will begin to work Solomon knot, puff stitch, Solomon knot, puff stitch to the end. So where you have puff stitch, you must have puff stitch. Where you have Solomon knot, you must have Solomon knot. This is the idea. It's pretty easy. Go ahead and work like this. I work 10 rows.